Hello YouTube and fragrance community. Galataki here again with my second video review of a fragrance. I know that in my previous video, if you saw it, of the original Vetiver by Creed, I said I would do a video on Hermes, but I've since kind of changed my mind for two reasons. One being that I have a 3.3 ounce bottle of Terre de Hermes on the way, so I would like to use that for the video if I do a review of that. And because I also have three samples directly from Hermes on the way, and those are, if I'm saying it right, Epice Marine or Epice Marine. I also have Poivre Samarkand, and then whatever the other one was, can't remember. I believe Bellamy Vetiver. Definitely going to review Bellamy Vetiver and the Poivre Samarkand. Epice, I'm not really sure what to expect from that, but Hermes is top quality. I'm wearing my Hermes deodorant right now, which is the best deodorant I've ever used. And so anyway, this isn't an Hermes video, this is a Guerlain video. And we have Coriolan. Coriolan is an old, dated fragrance by most young people's standards, especially someone my age. This was released in 1998 and soon after discontinued. Um, as stated in my blog, which I will leave a link to, don't know why it was discontinued. Um, aside from the fact that it's not appealing to a young crowd uh, per se. There are a select few, and I don't mean to sound pretentious or pompous, but I do believe I fall into the select few for the younger crowd. I'm not, obviously not an old man, and I'm obviously not middle-aged. I'm in my early 20s, about to be mid-20s, so we can say mid-20s. Anyway, I want to read an excerpt for you from my blog because I really don't know how else to sum this up. Top notes that I've gotten from the official Guerlain website are bergamot, lemon leaf, neroli, and sage. Heart notes are ylang ylang, absinthe, pepper, juniper berry. And the base notes, vetiver, patchouli, benzoin, and everlasting flower. Those are pretty accurate, I have to say. You can't detect all those. Well, I personally can't. Granted, I'm holding what is more than likely, let's see, 98, 2008, 10, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So yeah, I'm holding like a 16-year-old bottle of cologne, potentially. And it's kind of amazing, actually, how good it still is. I mean, 16 years old. And the quality is still, the projection is decent for a 16-year-old bottle. Longevity. I can't imagine how good this was fresh out of the box. Well, I mean, granted, it was fresh out of the box as it was, but fresh, you know, I can't imagine how good it was. I've read some reviews, though they are scarce, that this was a projection and silage monster. And I can probably, I can't believe that those are not accurate after experiencing this. I've worn this 5 or 6 times with a review type mindset. So I was trying to discern the different characteristics. So out of those notes, I don't really get, let's just take a quick, okay, yeah, I don't get the bergamot. If anything, bergamot is less pronounced in this particular bottle, and granted, it may be because of its age. But what I think happens with the bergamot, which a lot of people love, is that it takes a back seat in the top notes, and is replaced with like it sits. If you took the lemon leaf, which is there, you can smell the lemon leaf because there's this. Lemons are normally a lemon that I think of, or a normal American thinks is very um, bitter and just sour and sharp. But the leaf itself, if you ever smelled a lemon leaf, um, very green, of course, because it's a leaf, but it's got a sweetness to it that's reminiscent of the smell of a lemon. And I don't know if it's the leaf itself or if it's because the lemons rub against the leaf and it gets the oil on it. I don't know, but it's very natural smelling, and the bergamot seems to smooth it a little bit. The neroli and the sage are there, but they're blended so well that it doesn't really make a statement, rather than just mix in with those scents and just create the smooth top base for which the rest warms up underneath and pushes out. So, in the heart notes, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what Lang Lang smells like in the raw. Absinthe, I don't get any absinthe. I've drank absinthe, um, so I know what it tastes like and I know what it smells like when exhaling and inhaling for that matter. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure where the absinthe comes into play. It could just be escaping my nose, or it could just be the fact that this bottle is so old because it's no longer in production. But I definitely, I'm not getting the absinthe. So anyway, the next in that lineup would be pepper and juniper berry. Uh, Again, juniper berry, I don't really know exactly what that smells like in nature. Uh, so I can't attest to that, but the pepper is there. I don't really, I think it's like I say, because the bottle's so old. Um, I think the pepper it has just like initially in there in the top notes with it. There is a blast of nice smooth pepper that goes along with all of the top notes, um, but it doesn't shine through until the liquid is dry. You can smell it like once you initially spray it on your skin. Yeah, it's there, but not until it's dry does it make its real statement, and it's a good statement. It's not cloying, it's not dry, and it's rich, is what it is. And there's about four main ingredients or notes in this particular clone that I think set this apart and make it a non-traditional, not so much of a celebrated fragrance as far as the community goes. This is more of an understated elegance reserved for that occasion where the tone is set, you know what tone you're going into. Um, just it's nice and quiet without being mute, so to say. It's one of those fragrances that I think if someone gets close to you and they smell it, especially in the right setting, they're going to smell it and they're going to think, this man smells fantastic. You don't necessarily need to say anything. The eyes and the body language will talk for you if someone smells this on you. Um, and that to me that's an ultimate compliment. Granted, I won't ever receive that type of compliment if mostly because I'm married, so she tells me whether she likes it or not, and yeah. Anyway, in the end, before I go off on another tangent here or rant, um, this scent is defiantly rich and thick. It almost has a syrup quality to it. It's kind of strange, but the best way I can take it is out of the note makeup here, and that would be the mix of the lemon leaf, the pepper, the vetiver, and the patchouli, and at the very end, everlasting flower. Now I'm going to read one more excerpt for you. in case you decide to not read the link. It says, or I've wrote that in the end, I make my own conclusion about this fragrance and why it's no longer offered. To me, this is not an everyday fragrance. It's not fresh from either top notes or bottom notes. Instead, it starts out rich and peppery with a hint of thick, semi-sweet lemon leaves, progresses to an even fuller, richer statement, and very slowly dries down to a close romantic scent, where the patchouli is met with the slightest earthiness of the everlasting flower, giving it an almost tangible texture. And that is what I mean by a syrupy texture. Uh, you can almost feel it like you smell it, and you can almost feel it like hitting your mouth and your tongue. And one surprising thing I found, and I'm sorry if this is offensive, um, I'll be as tame as I can in reading this. Midway through the scent, on my skin in particular, I've not smelled it on anyone else, I catch a whiff of something animal. And when I say animal, I mean the heat and sweat that's produced when a man and a woman are intimate with each other. It's extremely provocative, and I've never smelled anything like it. I've heard of a few old school colognes before certain ingredients were made illegal, like civet, and that's the only one I can think of off the top of my head that would give that animal type, sex type smell. Um, Obviously, that's not in this, as this was produced in 1998. Uh, and none of those notes are listed anyway. But the blend of them together, along with my skin's chemistry, when a little bit of body heat's involved, creates that. And it just adds a whole other quality to it in my mind. So, yeah, if there's not many around anymore, if you can get your hands on a bottle, I seriously suggest you do it if this sounds like something you like. Um, you're really probably only going to find 1 ounce bottles or maybe some decants off the perfumed court. Uh, but the prices aren't bad. This has been reformulated, I believe in 2008. I'm not positive, but the reformulation comes in one size bottle and it's something ridiculous like $265. So, I mean, if you're into paying that much, Guerlain, as far as I am aware, is not niche. They're designer. So, I mean, that's a lot of money to pay for designer fragrance, especially for reformulation. I've never been a big believer of reformulations. I'm an original man all the way, whether it comes to fragrance or movies, games, whatever it may be. The original's always the best, and I can't imagine something upstaging this. Classics never die, and this is one that should have never been allowed to. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Please, if you want to, subscribe or comment, maybe push the like button. I've got a few other videos on my channel, and also have a blog, which I will leave a link to in the description. And if you like this, or if you have any sort of fragrance that you may have a question on, maybe I could help you out with, let me know, and I'll see what I can do about it. And hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.